Hi, I'm Dave Mars with Conservation Tips, and today we're going to see how you can rejuvenate your old windows and save some energy to boot. You know, older windows, that have glazing compound can suffer a lot of damage over the years. You can have interior condensation in the wintertime that can drip down there and pop that glazing from underneath, or we might have a lot of sunshine or weather, storms and what have you that hit the window, pop that glazing off. Now, unless the window's totally crumbling and difficult to open, you really don't need to be thinking about replacing windows. We're going to show you some ways today that you can rejuvenate these old windows and add some more beauty to your home. Okay, the first step in rejuvenating an old window like this is to get rid of the old glazing. Now, I've been lucky enough, like I have on this one, a lot of the sun and the weathering has taken care of a lot of that for me. But you want to go ahead and scrape. You want to get as much of it out of there as we possibly can. Now, of course, be careful when you're taking your glazing compound off. You might need to use a chisel, a razor knife, or a tool. We don't want to tweak this glass in here because I've been known to crack some glass by doing that, so be very careful. If you get the glazing compound off and you notice that you got a little play in the window here, well, that's going to let some air in, and we can take care of that in two ways. We're going to add some glazing compound, but first, we want to go ahead and put some glazing points in. And these are little things you can buy at the hardware store, and they work like this. You go ahead and just work the glazing point into the wood. Try to get it as flush as possible. Okay, the next stage of the process is to get this glass super clean. So with that glazing compound we're going to put on there to hear it's something really, a clean surface. So go ahead and do a little spray along there and get a nice dry towel. We're going to get all that extra dust that might be on that pane of glass off of there so that we get a nice clean surface. Now, the next step of the process, we want to go ahead and paint this wood. It's awful, dry right now. It's going to take a lot of the oil out of the glazing compound, which you don't necessarily want. I'm going to slow dry the glazing compound so we get a good quality primer paint like this, and go ahead and prime this wood. You can't not to get on the glass, of course. Try to keep it down on the wood surface, and then just go ahead and primer coat this, so it'll give the compound a good base to sit on. Now here comes the fun part. Next we're going to apply the glazing compound, which you can buy at any hardware store in the area. What you want to do is it's really kind of fun stuff. It's like, clay putty type stuff. Get that set right there. And what you want to do is work it in your hands a little bit, get nice and warm, all mixed up real thoroughly. You get a pretty good wad of it here, because the fun part is we just kind of push this in along the window edge down here. And don't worry about it being too large, because we're going to take our tool and clean that off and make it look real sweet. Now you want to maybe press some of the excess off here with your fingers, and you want to make sure you press it in nice and tight so it gets underneath the glass if there's a little bit of edge there. Then you want to take your tool like this, and you just want to kind of go along, press that in even a little bit tighter, take off your excess, and then position the blade like so, and just scoot along like this, about a 45-degree angle on that, and that's about all there is to it. Now it's going to take about 2 weeks for this to clear, and it gets what's called a skin on it, so that you kind of dry to the touch, and then you can put some paint on it, and I think a couple of layers of paint will probably be your best strategy. Now if you don't like the glazing compound way of doing this window, there's another alternative, is using straight exterior grade caulk. Now I'm using a acrylic silicone caulk here. It's a white base caulk. It's paintable that way, so you can match your trim. If the color's not a problem, you can just go 100% silicone. The advantage to this is that it's very liquid. It adheres very well to the glass. It might give you a little extra life that the glazing compound might not. Just start in the corner though, and you just kind of work yourself across there very slowly. Now, when you're using a caulking for your glazing compound, you want to do the bottom edge and the top edge, get that out of the way. Let it dry real good, and then do your sides. That way you get a nice neat corner this way rather than doing wet on wet. Now the advantage, of course, of using caulking is that it's going to dry a lot quicker, and you're going to get done with the job a lot quicker that way. Another good candidate up there. Now you know how to exact the repairs that are going to take care of that problem. Now if you hired a professional to do this, it might cost as much as a brand new window, so do it yourself is the way to go. And now you've seen how to do it here on Tips, which help save some energy, save some money, and save the environment. Do these repairs on your own. I know you can do it. This is Dave Mars with Conservation Tips, and I'll see you next time.